Hi, everybody. It's Shannon Albright, and today is August 6th, and welcome to our call. So we have a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm trying to change my screen, and I don't know why it's not happening. Oh, because I'm pressing the wrong button. Okay, here we go. So I have a lot to talk about tonight. I want to talk about challenge groups, and I also want to talk about how to create images on PicMonkey, and to give you a couple of different tips that I have recently learned that I've been putting towards my my pictures. I don't know if you've noticed, but I think that they've been looking a little bit better, like my advertisement ones and whatever. So at Summit, one of the topics that that was talked about in one of our breakout sessions is challenge groups. And right now, one of the ideas that I got from that group is being put into our 14-day challenge right now, and that's having a challenge within the challenge. And it's going awesome. So the challenge within the challenge that I think I talked about it on last week's call. So if it's just to get more involvement in the group, because I feel like the more involvement, the better the results. The more support everybody would provide each other, the better results, and then the better chance of hopefully getting coaches out of these challenge groups, right? So what we've been doing for this particular challenge is everybody who posts, everybody who comments on a post gets a point. Everybody who posts a post-workout selfie in the group gets 2 points. Anybody who does a random act of kindness and posts about it in the group gets 5 points. And anybody who posts a picture on their personal page and about something positive about the group and tags their coach in it gets 10 points. And at the end of this challenge, whoever gets the most points wins a prize, right? So the amount of involvement that we have in this 14-day challenge so far, I'm extremely impressed with. This is like the most that I've ever had in any other challenge.
That's why she's
so I'm just really, really impressed with that. So moving forward, my goal is to have our own Dreamers Achievers challenge groups. And my goal is to get all of you to get challengers so we can start running our own, so then we can implement this challenge within the challenge to make it more fun. So I want to talk to you about the, I guess just a couple things that I learned from Summit about them. So we want our challengers, the purpose of the challenge groups is we want our challengers to be engaged. We want them to have fun with the group. We want them to get results, and then we want them to pay it forward by, you know, making referrals or by becoming a coach and pay it forward. So, we then discuss the different challenge groups that we are already doing. So where to start? So we have every single month we run the same groups every single month, right? So you guys already know about that. And she said to start inviting 2 weeks prior to each challenge and craft your invite with a good mixture of personal messages, public social media posts, and events on Facebook. So, you know, 2 weeks before each challenge is when they're recommending to start private messaging people with it, start posting about it on social media, and create events like we did for the size challenge group, create events for the challenge. So then they talked about social media missteps, and these are things that a lot of new coaches make the mistakes. You don't want pictures to look generic. You don't want them to look salesy. You do not want to have a picture of the product solely in your image when you're talking about a challenge group or a specific program. Because it looks like spam and everybody just scrolls past it, right? I don't know if you've seen, I know I use Rodin and Fields a lot because I just feel like I see them all the time, or that new mascara or Jamboree nails. It's always very salesy. It's a picture of the product and that's it. So I know for me, I just scroll right past that. I have no interest, right? They said don't ever put the price on the image. And they said, don't put the name, like Miguel Carrasco even said, he's like, you don't even talk about the product, which I don't know how I feel about that, but he said, don't put the name of the product in the image at all. What you want to do is post, like you want to see real people in the pictures. You want to see before and after photos, that you want to see you. They want to see you, you know, they don't want to see, because I know I spoke about it, I think it was our call last week or whatever, but people are buying you. They're not technically buying the product. They're trusting in you. So you don't want to come across as a salesperson, even in your image. Because again, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you do, you know, have the picture of the product in the image, it's like crickets, right? At least it was for me. I don't know about you, but like I barely get any likes or even comments. So, so anyway, so then once you send out these personal messages, and I know we've talked about this before, but, and you start engaging in an actual conversation, say somebody, you know, was interested in it. They said, ask leading questions. And I do this all the time. You want to ask, you want to get to know them. You know, it's so important not to push our own personal goals on them. We want them to buy. We want them to have, you know, we want the 2 SC points. We want, you know, them to sign up as a coach. But at the end of the day, if that's how we're talking to them, they're going to get turned off. They're going to feel that. So you have, it's so important to talk when you're having a conversation with them. You have to show that you actually care and find out about them and ask questions about their own personal goals. And I know I've said this before, but not talk about the whole product and whatever until the very end. So I talked to him about their challenge, you know, their goals, you know, somehow in the conversation, you know, I bring up about their work and their children, and then, you know, I'm able to relate to them on that level because, you know, being a mom. So I try and relate to them as much as possible. Or if they say I'm trying to lose, you know, 100 pounds, right? The conversation I've been having with people, my next question is, does that number overwhelm you? And 9 times out of 10, it does. And I said, the reason why I'm asking is because a lot of times it's very common that people get paralyzed because they're looking at the bigger picture and they don't start their journey because they get so scared that they're never going to hit that goal that, you know, that they don't even begin, that they don't even start their journey. So I explained to them that it's so important to start setting little goals. I have a whole conversation about them before I even talk about the challenge at the end. So it's really important to get to know the people that you're talking to and show that you actually care, because during those conversations, which I hope we all do care, during those conversations, we're showing that we're compassionate and that we actually do care about them and not just making the sale. Does that make sense? Okay. So another question that's extremely important is, what kind of time do you have? Because quite honestly, if you're talking to somebody who works like 15 hours a day, the 21 Day Fix may not be the best program for them because, or I'm sorry, like 80 hours a week or whatever it is, something crazy. A 21 Day Fix may not be the best program for them because they may not have the time to do meal planning that specifically, right? So maybe one of our other challenge groups that have our programs, because like a clean eating group, it's not a clean eating group, but one of our general groups, the clean eating information, it's not as detailed as a 21 Day Fix. So they might actually have more time to do that than they would you know, the 21 Day Fix. So that's why it's extremely important to get to know our people, or if they have any physical limitations too. Or even any nutritional. I mean, everybody's allergic to everything, I feel like, these days. So it's very important to find out food limitations too. So get to know your potential challengers. And if they've had any struggles, like if they've tried before and they haven't been successful, or, you know, because they just lost the motivation and they didn't have the support. So these are all things that are extremely important for us to know. So, all right. I'm talking really fast because I want to show you how I make the images. Okay, so then, like I said, you want to relate to them and you want to match what they're saying. So try and relate yourself to whatever they're saying. I'm sure at some point we can all relate to something that they're saying. So try and get on their level of, you know, how they're feeling and validate what they're feeling. And Kathleen has talked about this on a couple of calls, but it's the whole feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I felt that way too, but I found by doing this, blah, 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 you know, to have that conversation. So, and then this is actually where I got the idea for the point system, which is going awesome, by the way, as I mentioned in the beginning of this call. So, so we want to inspire our challengers to become coaches, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a business and we want to grow our team and, you know, make successful coaches out of these challenge groups, right? So we want to identify people in the group who stand out. You always have like the 1 or 2 people that are posting all the time and whatever. But I gotta tell you, in this 14-day challenge that we're doing, there's so many people posting selfies, there's so many people commenting that there's a lot of standouts. So I think that once we implement the challenges, we're gonna get a lot more, you know, engagement in our group. So we want to, you know, highlight their results and give them shout outs. We want to, we want to personal message them and encourage them and let them know, like, you're doing awesome. I'm really impressed with how well you're doing with this challenge, and, you know, and give them that, make them feel good about everything that they're doing. And then, you know, at the end or towards the end, or maybe even in the middle, you know, you should be like, you should ask them, you know, would you ever consider becoming a coach? And tell them why and what it's done for you. Actually, Katie, I hope you don't mind if I share this, but Katie and I were talking yesterday and she brought up a really good point. Write down the things that coaching has done for you. Like, literally write them down so you know what coaching does for you. So when you have this conversation with somebody, you know, like, I mean, I know wholeheartedly that coaching has changed my life. You know what I mean? It's changed my perspective on life completely, helping people, and it's just been rewarding. So, like, I know, but until you get comfortable in sharing that with people, I would definitely write all of that down, which is also great for future posts, by the way. that was the topic, you know, because you want to start engaging writing about those different things in your posts at least a couple times a week.
I did it today. I don't know if you saw.
Yes, thank you. That was an awesome post, Katie.
All right.
Thank you for including me in that. And I sent you a picture of me if you wanted to make it. I texted it to you instead of Facebook messaging you. I don't know why I did that, but let me know if you got it.
Okay.
So, okay. So does anybody have any questions about any of that? Yeah. Okay. So I want to, I'm going to share my screen with you all. So I actually, before I do that, so I reached out to Marsha Smirka. I don't know if you've heard of her, but I reached out to her a few weeks ago because, I don't know, I just love her images. And, you know, she gave me a couple tips, but she basically told me I understand she's got a huge downline to run and business of her own, and she doesn't have time for people who are not involved in her business whatsoever, and I get it. But the short conversation that we did have, I did get a really helpful tip from her. And she said, basically, you want your picture images to be eye-catching. And in order to do that, she said, use bright colors. And she said, only use three colors max in your images. So I want to show you an example of one that and also the other tip is, you know, you want to make sure that you're in the picture. Wait, so let me see if I can share my screen with you. I mean, every image is not going to have us in it. I mean, I get that. But when you're posting for a challenge group, you certainly want to try and be in that image. Because again, people are buying you and not the product. Okay, so I did this one recently for the size challenge group. This is me. Yes, I did have professional pictures taken, but before I had these professional pictures taken, I had my husband take, here, let me see if I can find one for you. Take photos of me every time like we went out somewhere. My computer works really slow when I have you guys on a shared screen. And of course it's going to do that now. All right. Anyway, so while that's going, so she said to use, you know, just very limited amount of colors in your image. So I don't know if you saw on wait, let me see. Okay. Sorry, wait a minute. So like my free 14-day challenge, you see how I'm very limited with the colors? And the same here too, black, white, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This computer is so slow. Come on. I'm trying to scroll up. And this one here, let's get ready for summer. Oh, I can close these. Wait a minute. This one here. But I want to show you before I got my professional pictures taken. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, you see this picture here? It says help wanted. I think that was like one of the first pictures she told me about, like the whole color thing. You want to be eye-catchy. So this photo was taken on my way out to dinner with my husband. I was standing on my porch patio and he took that picture. So I cut myself out of that image and I placed it here. So that's what I want to show you how to do. So I do that in PicMonkey. And quite honestly, it's extremely annoying to do. So I go to design, which I'm sure a lot of you know this much, right? Wait, before I do that, I need to figure out what that one's called. Give me 1 second. I want to show you. Here it is. That's the image right there. That was in that. All right, so it's called Me Too. We'll just wait for PicMonkey. All right, so then here's my blank canvas. So you don't have to keep it white, but for this purpose, I'm going to. So I'm going to hit apply. Okay, so then I'm going to go over to this butterfly here. And that's what your overlays are. And then I'm going to click on, I'm going to use my own image. And then I'm going to pull up that picture of me. Oops. Okay. All right. So here it is. All right, so I'm going to make it bigger. Okay. I like to make them very big to do this because it needs to be very, and this takes a lot of getting used to, guys, okay? All right, so you see this, here, I'm gonna move this over here. This box, right? It says eraser. So you click on eraser, and then I'm gonna make the size bigger because I don't know, for me personally, using a bigger eraser is easier for me. And then basically what you do is that in a perfect world, if the computer wasn't so slow, your cursor is that little, your circle. So when you press down on your left, the left part of your mouse, it erases the picture. You see that? So then I basically get it. I'm sorry, guys, it's gonna be frustrating because the computer is slow, so it's not matching my cursor right now. So I basically put it up to the edge of me, and then I do little spaces at a time, but this computer, I can't. So I definitely, see? All right, so does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you mess up this eraser here, hit eraser, and you can go back over it, and it'll bring it back.
Oh, so it's, what is that? Like a little paintbrush?
Yes, yeah. So,
Okay.
all right, so, oh my God, okay. So this box here, this overlay box right here, this is the eraser.
Yeah.
I meant the whatever.
Yeah, that's the eraser.
Okay, and then if you mess up, say like I put,
You want to put some of your hair back.
yeah, or like
Yeah.
say, oops, I put the cursor over my face, if I can get it there. And I
Right.
want to bring that back. I go to the eraser and it'll bring that back. So basically you just use the little circle thing around your whole outline, your whole body. And then whatever color your background is, so, okay, so here, let me go back. So whatever your canvas color is, that's what the eraser is going to be. You see what I mean? So like if
Oh, yeah.
so if I wanted to put myself on a black canvas,
Mm-hmm.
that'll match that.
Right.
So does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to show you another thing that I actually just recently learned from Kathleen. So you know in that one image where I was with Shanti,
Yeah.
well, how the heck did I get Shanti there, right? So what I did, what she told me to do is that when you put, okay, so here, let me show you. Shaun T, Shaun T images. And then put PNG after.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that. It'll bring up images that you can use that he's already cut out.
Oh.
So save it to your computer. So here, so I'm gonna save image Shaun T. I'll just put the number 2, save. Let's go back over to PicMonkey. Let's apply it. All right, I'm gonna just delete me here. Okay, and then I go to overlay, and then I go to my own, and I put Shaun T 2. Oh, why did it do that? It's supposed to be a cutout of him. Well, that didn't work. All right, so in this case, if he was going to stay white background, I would just keep my background white just to make it simple and not even fight with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like when I do images with a white background, they're brighter and catchy anyway.
I just learned, I just read an article about taking baby pictures because that's what I'm going to be doing.
Uh-huh.
And they said to put the baby on a white surface, like on a white bedspread or whatever.
Yeah.
They actually recommend it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
I don't know why that picture was coming up, Larry, but I do have another picture of Shaun T that we can use. But anyway, it's you get the general idea.
Yep.
Here, this is the image I used for that. Nope, that's a different one. Anyway, I mean, you could, the same thing that I did with the overlay, if you wanted a different color background and you couldn't find an image to use from the PNG, then you can just cut him out too.
Right.
But, you know, using it, remember, this is the overlay box. So this is, you get to the eraser here by clicking on this. And then here's the eraser.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just start erasing
Right.
him. So that's that.
That's helpful.
Good. Let me stop sharing before I lose my mind. All right. All right. So images are so important when we post. You know, I try and almost have an image, whether it's, you know, something inspirational, or if it's me or Ryan, or, you know what I mean? I just always try and have an image. And I'm really trying to stay away from, you know, the salesy type pictures because, you know, again, we don't want people to scroll over them. So when posting about a challenge group, you know, they say use before and after pictures. they actually gave me a few pictures that I should have, I'm very embarrassed to say that I don't know how to do PowerPoint, which is why you guys haven't had any pretty PowerPoint presentations. That I could actually pulled up those pictures for you to show you. But I don't know. Does anybody have any questions or comments about anything that I shared?
I
No.
don't think so. I took notes. I'm going to use it.
Good. Good. Nikki, you're all dark. Are the lights off there?
Yeah, Ty went upstairs and he turned the lights off.
All we see is like this little, it's like a scary movie face. Did you sell your challenge pack tonight, Nikki?
No, I'm going to have to see when she can chat tomorrow because she told me she was going to let me know today, but then I saw it was her anniversary and I was like, she's not going to call me.
Oh.
So I'm going to see when she's free tomorrow and I'll just call her.
Good, good. So I want you guys also to start getting more comfortable in talking to people about becoming a preferred customer or a discount coach. I feel like until you're above diamond, I feel like every challenge pack that we sell, if your goal is to advance, every challenge pack, they should sign up as a coach. And I know that sounds very uncomfortable and very scary to do, but in all actuality, yes, we have our own agenda and yes, we have our own goals. But when I was pushing for diamond, in one of the groups that I was in, they said it perfectly. Like, why wouldn't we want to offer this discount to everybody? Why are we going to make them pay $143 with tax and shipping when they can pay $115 a month? And it's all in the approach. It's all in the approach. Like I had a conversation with somebody, and I always have this conversation with people on the phone. I feel like it's extremely hard to have through the message because as soon as they see the word coach, they're gone. And I always, the way I explain it is, so during our message, I say, so after we have the whole conversation, we talk about goals, they're ready to do the challenge. I say, well, before we do that, I would really like to talk to you about getting, a discount, the same discount as me on all your future products. So next month, when you want Shakeology, you'll get it for $115 instead of $143. And of course, he's going to turn that down. So then I say, they're like, how do I go about doing that? So I explained to them, will it be okay if we can have this conversation on the phone because it's just too much to type out. So when I talk to them, I'm honest with them. I'm like, look, because I just had this conversation yesterday. I'm gonna tell you, like, to get the same discount as me, you would have to sign up as a coach. But don't worry, you are not a coach unless you want to be. I said I explained to them that I wish that Beachbody calls it something different because anytime somebody hears the word coach, they go running. I tell them I wish that they would call it preferred customer. But I say Beachbody is such an amazing company that when people sign up to get this discount, as a coach, to get this discount, they have no selling quota. There's no response, like there's nothing. You're not forced to do anything. And I tell them that many people do it. It's just for the discount, and that's fine. And then I explain to them, the difference. I go into, the price of Shakeology with tax and shipping is $143. That's if they're on auto. It's more if they're not on auto because then they have to pay $15 for shipping. But anyway, $143 plus tax and shipping, and then it's brought down to $115. And then I explained to them that they're like, yeah, how do I go about signing up? And I'm like, is there a fee to sign up as a coach? And if they're buying a challenge pack, no, there's no fee. because you're buying a challenge pack. And then I say, there's one more thing I want to explain to you. When you do get billed, you're going to see 2 charges. The one charge is going to be $99 because that's going to be the Shakeology with tax and shipping. And then there's going to be a $16 fee per month. And that's, where they're going to get the $115 fee from a month. So I explain that to them. And the whole time I'm having this conversation, I'm not hesitant. I'm very confident in what I'm telling them. And I'm making it about them, not me. Because I want them. I tell them, I think it's silly for you to have to pay full price when you can get, the same discount as me. And I tell them on all future products, it's not just Shakeology, it's on everything. So if you want a future workout program, that's fine. You get the 25% off. And I say you can cancel at any time. There is no pressure, which is true. They can cancel at any time.
How are you handling the club membership?
For the...
Because now it automatically goes to a paid club membership.
Actually, I don't think it's automatic. I think I read somewhere that starting June 25th at checkout, they give them the option.
Yeah, but it's so tiny. And if you don't check it off, I did it with my mother-in-law. If you don't check off that you want to remove the club, it will automatically be there on their card the next month.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's like in tiny print. It's like not where your eye is looking. It's really hard to see.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
I really thought that they added this to prevent all that confusion.
Right.
Because then I thought they get a separate email. I don't know.
I could see how somebody could sign up easily just for even an HD order and miss that. And then that's, part of their...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had that issue. I used to have that issue, but I haven't had that issue lately. But I do check my previous online office a lot. I check it every single day. So when I do see somebody charge for the club membership, I do message them and I ask them if that's what they wanted. So if they don't want it, then, I say, okay, just give them a call and they'll reimburse you.
Oh.
Yeah. Another thing that I've been doing now that I'm using Asana, and it's extremely easy for me to follow up with people. I've been doing a lot of the whole, like now that I'm Diamond and I don't need everybody to be a discount underneath me, although now I need to build my one leg. But anyway, we only have a minute left, but I have been following up with them like after a week. Well, how do they like their Shakeology? I do give them a recipe beforehand, making sure that they like it. If not, I give them another recipe. And then about a week later, I message them, make sure that they love it, and then talk to them about the discount then. So, all right.
If they don't, you mean if they haven't signed up already?
If they haven't signed up already, yeah.
Then
Now
they
that
still
I'm
have the
Diamond, I
chance.
don't. What?
Then they still have the chance to do it because they're within that 30 days.
Right. All right, ladies. I'm sorry. We're going to get kicked off. So I hope that this was helpful. And have a good night. If you have any questions, post them in the group or message me, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All
Good
right.
night.
Good night.